Going on, guys? California Jixer here with another video. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded. I've just been very busy, just changing jobs and just taking care of what I need to take care of. Anyway, I thought I'd come back with my retrospective on video game consoles. I do have plenty of them. I'm really into it, as you can see from my background. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the one that I grew up with. It wasn't my first one, but it's the one I grew up with. And these videos are going to be about maybe 5 minutes, just a real quick retrospective and what memories I have with them. So today I'm going to start with my favorite, one of my favorites, if not my favorite, the PlayStation 1. Now, I got mine back in 1998. I know it was released a couple years before that, but before I had gotten the PS1, I had the Super Nintendo, but PS1 was really the one where I jumped into all the video gaming. That's where I did most of my video gaming, and then of course it branched out into the PS2. But I started off with this one. The original gray. This is actually the one from my childhood. I actually saved it and took care of it really, really well. The only thing with this one is the controller port stopped working for a while. I don't know why, but I replaced it with another. I mean, I do have another system that I did find for about $7-8. But I was gonna replace the controller ports from that one to this one, but since this is my childhood one, I don't want to mess with it in any way. So anytime I need to do some PS1 gaming, I game on the other one and keep this one nice and safe and original. But yeah, this is the one that started it all, pretty much. 1998. It doesn't have the RCA jacks. It was right after that. And then when I started gaming with this one. I never played with this one. Even though this is the one that was originally came with the system, but this is the one that I grew up with. The Rumble. So the Rumble, the joysticks, the analog, and I had no idea what the hell the analog was for. I never knew what that was for as a kid. I just fuck with the little button, and when the light would turn on, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, but I have no idea what it does. Until a little later, when the PS2 came out, that's when I learned what the fuck analog was. But as a kid, it was a little confusing as to what the fuck that button was for, you know? Anyway, so that one is the one I grew up with. I had a Tekken 2. I still have my Tekken 2. Crash Bandicoot 2 was the one that I got for Christmas. I didn't get one. I remember I asked for all three, but I only got part 2, which was cool with me. And that's the one that I played the most of any of the PlayStation games. It was probably that one and Twisted Metal 4. I did play Twisted Metal 2, 1, 3 on a demo. And then it jumped to Twisted Metal 4, and that's the one that I just played the shit out of, even though it's the one that most people don't fucking like, but I played the shit out of that. Was my shit. That one, Tony Hawk 2 I played a bit, and Crash Bandicoot 2 were like my mainstays. I usually play demos. My sister's boyfriend at the time worked at Barnes & Noble, so he would hook me up with the PlayStation magazines, which I still do have back here. And they would come with the little PlayStation Underground demos, and I used to play the shit out of those. I played the shit out of them, probably more than the games that I had. But yeah, I only had a few. I never really amassed a whole lot. Not like right here. See, this right here is my PS1, and this stack right here is PS1. But I amassed most of that after the fact, recently, last couple years. But I've had a few from my childhood. Tomb Raider, I played those. Not so much. They were a little difficult for me when I was a kid. Yeah, that was pretty much my childhood experience with the PlayStation 1. It was a lot bigger than that, of course, but this video is going to be very short. I'm not trying to make a full, long retrospective, so I'm just trying to keep it really short. But I do have a lot of memories of it, going to the store, seeing the games, Toys R Us, seeing them behind the glass. It was amazing, you know? Oh, and Matt Hoffman, I remember that one. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, that was totally my shit. That one was, woof, that was my shit. I loved it. It was like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but it was BMXing, and that was just, I don't know why, that one just stuck with me, and I mastered the shit out of that game. Love that one. And then later on, as the years went by, in 2000, they released this one, the little tiny PS1, spelled PS and then ONE. That's how they marketed this one, a lot smaller, and it usually came with the screen. That was the gimmick with this one, the screen. Really, really handy. I never had it as a kid. I never had this one as a kid because I was already on N64 and PS2, you know, in the 2000s when this was released. My friend used to have this one, and we used to play Twisted Metal Small Brawl on it. We played Small Brawl, I think X-Men Legends, and I'm trying to think of what the other one was. You know, it just doesn't come to my mind. But yeah, I know we played on this one quite a bit with that. with those games. Pretty good little looking system. A little harder to find than the other PlayStation. That other PlayStation, for some reason, is it's dirt cheap. It's really easy to find. I usually see them at thrift stores like crazy. I have a bunch of them. I do have the one with the RCA jacks in the back. I have maybe about 5 of these consoles. My original one, another one that I play on, and then one with the RCAs. It's a little iffy. It works when it wants to, but it's good for the most part. And then of course I found this one. I got it for like $8, which is cool. And then they did have memory cards. These little buggers. Yeah, I didn't have one for a while until I got my first one, which was this green one right here, Mad Catz. Still my original one. It has a lot of my saves on it. For some reason, that PlayStation that I had stopped reading the memory cards, and I thought it was the memory card that broke, but no, it was the actual port. So I bought this double memory card, and it worked. For some reason, it worked, and I always assumed that it was that one. So I went years until the PS2 came out. I went like 3-4 years thinking that memory card was no good until I got the PS2, and I stuck the green one in the PS2, and I saw all my old game saves to my surprise. So I started playing on the PS2, my PS1 games, and I got to use my old game saves, which was great, you know, to relive that, to know that, you know, these game saves are at the time, these game saves were 5 years old. And yeah, it was great. It was a great surprise. And that's when I figured out that the PlayStation, my PlayStation, the front end was messed up, the control ports and the memory card slots, for the exception of that red memory card, worked for, I don't know why, but it did work. That was the only one that would work. Anyway, that was my my little memory videos. I mean, it wasn't too great, but this is the first of many, so I got some practice to be had. Well, California Jixer, guys, signing off. Take it easy.